Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's topic is going to hit deep, because if you've ever been confused by female psychology, this is the video you need to watch. But before we dive in, drop a comment below and let me know which country you're watching from. I always love seeing how far this message is reaching. Her problems are often a test of your frame. When a woman tells you her problems, many times it's not really about the situation she's describing. It's about you. More specifically, it's about how you respond to her. Female psychology shows us that women often bring up problems, frustrations, or complaints as a subconscious way of testing your emotional stability, your strength, and your frame. Frame is the invisible boundary that defines your mental and emotional state. It's the calmness, confidence, and grounded energy you carry no matter what storm is thrown at you. When she shares her problems, she's often watching closely to see if you stay in control of your frame, or if you let her words pull you into chaos. This is why so many men misunderstand the dynamics of these conversations. They think she's simply venting, but what she's really doing is measuring whether you can handle her emotions without breaking down. For example, if she complains about her day and you immediately get annoyed, frustrated, or dismissive, what you've shown her is that her emotions can destabilize you. If she tells you something upsetting and you panic, overreact, or try to control the situation, she realizes you're not the grounded man she needs when life becomes difficult. In contrast, if you listen calmly, nod, and keep your energy steady, she feels safe around you. She sees that her emotional waves can't shake your foundation. That creates attraction, trust, and respect on a level that no words can fully explain. This is also why sometimes a woman's problems seem exaggerated or even petty to men. It's not that she can't handle life herself. It's that she wants to know whether you can handle her. She wants to see if you can sit across from her and absorb her emotional energy without getting lost in it. That's the real test. Many men fail this because they think being masculine means shutting her down, telling her to get over it, or giving cold, logical solutions. But none of that proves strength. True strength is the ability to stay calm when she is not, to remain unshaken when she is emotional, and to make her feel that no matter what chaos surrounds her, your frame remains untouchable. In female psychology, this process is deeply instinctual. A woman's emotional storms are not always attacks. They are often checked. Check to see if you're truly the man you appear to be. If your frame collapses under the weight of small problems, how will it stand when life delivers bigger ones? She's looking for emotional safety, not logic. When a woman shares her problems with you, the first thing many men do is try to inject logic into the situation. Men are naturally wired to analyze, break down, and fix issues with a rational approach. If something isn't working, they find the fastest way to correct it. But this logical mode of thinking is not what most women are seeking when they bring their struggles to you. Female psychology shows that what she's craving in those moments is not logic, but emotional safety. She wants to know that she can express her feelings without being judged, dismissed, or invalidated. She wants to feel that you can hold the emotional space she creates without making her feel small for having emotions in the first place. Imagine she comes to you and says, "I feel overwhelmed with everything going on at work." The masculine instinct might be to respond with, "Just make a list and prioritize your tasks," or "Maybe you should find another job." While these answers might sound practical, they completely miss the point of why she shared it with you. She doesn't want a blueprint for efficiency. She wants reassurance that she's not alone in her stress. She wants to feel the strength of your presence while she unloads the chaos in her head. When you listen, when you validate her experience by simply saying, "I hear you, that does sound stressful," you give her something logic never could. A sense of emotional safety. This is the foundation of why women often get closer to men who can just listen without trying to fix everything. They feel safe being vulnerable. Emotional safety is one of the most powerful attractions a woman can feel, because it tells her you are strong enough to handle not just your world, but hers too. If she senses judgment, criticism, or impatience when she opens up, she'll slowly begin to pull back and stop sharing with you. That's when emotional distance grows, and with distance comes disconnection. A woman's problems, in many cases, aren't about finding an immediate solution. They're about creating a bond through openness. By showing her that her emotions are valid and that she can lean on you without fear, You build a trust far deeper than logic could ever create. Your calm presence communicates that she can fall apart for a moment without losing you. And in her psychology, that sense of safety is what makes her want to stay close. Her words aren't always literal. One of the most misunderstood aspects of female psychology is that a woman's words rarely carry the full weight of what she's truly expressing. When she tells you her problems, the literal meaning of her words is often only the surface layer. Underneath what she says lies the real message, her feelings, her state of mind, and sometimes even her deeper concerns about the relationship itself. Men tend to take everything at face value. If she says she's tired, a man thinks she just needs rest. If she says she's stressed about work, he assumes it's strictly a workplace issue. But for women, the spoken words are often a vehicle for communicating something much more personal. When she talks about how unfair her boss is or how her friend upset her, she may be sharing more than just frustration about those specific events. She may be signaling that she feels unseen, unsupported, or undervalued in her life as a whole. Sometimes, the issue she describes isn't even the real issue. It's an outlet. It's a way to reveal the emotional state she's struggling with without directly naming it. If a woman tells you she feels ignored because her coworker didn't include her in something, the deeper message may be, I want to know you see me. I want to feel important to you. This is why men often get confused when their solutions or logical advice don't land. He addresses the literal words while missing the emotional meaning. He tries to fix the problem she described, but the real problem she wanted him to acknowledge was how she felt. In her psychology, emotions are rarely contained to a single situation. They spill into different areas of her life, and sometimes the safest way to express them is indirectly. By sharing her external problems, she's often testing whether you can pick up on the deeper emotions hiding underneath. It's also why arguments in relationships can escalate so quickly. A small comment about the dishes or about being late spirals into something much larger. To a man, it looks irrational, but to her, it's not about dishes or lateness. It's about respect, consideration, or whether she feels prioritized. When she brings up problems, her words may be pointing in one direction, but her emotions are pointing in another. Understanding this distinction is what separates men who constantly clash with women from men who connect with them on a deeper level. Your response determines attraction. Every time a woman brings you her problems, whether big or small, she is unconsciously watching your reaction. Female psychology is built on the emotional signals exchanged in these moments, and how you respond has a direct impact on her attraction toward you. Many men don't realize that their words, tone, and energy in these conversations either build her desire and respect or quietly erode it. A woman doesn't lose attraction all at once. It fades slowly, often through repeated interactions where she feels misunderstood, dismissed, or emotionally unsafe. This is why your response matters more than the problem itself. If you react with impatience, defensiveness, or annoyance, you send the message that her emotions are too much for you to handle. If you immediately try to shut her down with logic or brush her concerns aside, she feels minimized. Over time, this creates emotional distance, which translates into physical distance. She shares less, she trusts less, and she invests less in the relationship. On the other hand, if you respond with calmness, steady presence, and validation, she feels drawn closer to you. She sees you as the man who can handle both her storms and her silence, and that creates a deep sense of security and respect. Think about it this way. When she shares her problems, she's not just revealing stress. She's giving you an opportunity to prove your strength without saying a word. A man who listens without trying to dominate the conversation, who holds his frame without being cold, and who acknowledges her emotions without losing himself, becomes far more attractive in her eyes. Attraction for women is rarely about just looks or status. It's about how she feels when she's around you. If she feels calmer, safer, and more grounded after talking to you, her attachment deepens. If she feels more stressed, unheard, or invalidated, her attraction weakens. This is why some men notice that their relationships improve dramatically when they stop trying to fix everything and simply start listening. The response you give in these moments tells her more about your character than any speech about loyalty or strength ever could. It tells her if you're a man who can carry weight without collapsing, if you can be trusted when life gets heavy, and if you are truly the kind of partner who makes her feel stronger by being in your presence. Her problems are windows into the relationship. When a woman tells you her problems, most men assume she's just venting about her day, her job, or her family. But in female psychology, problems are rarely isolated from the relationship itself. The issues she shares, even if they sound external, often serve as subtle windows into how she feels about the bond she has with you. This is why many times what looks like a complaint about the outside world is actually a reflection of the inside world between you and her. She may not come out and say, "I don't feel close to you right now," but the kinds of problems she brings up, and the way she presents them, often carry that hidden message. For example, if she repeatedly tells you about how unappreciated she feels at work, it could be her indirect way of signaling that she doesn't feel fully appreciated in the relationship either. If she often talks about friends betraying her trust or not being reliable, it may be her subconscious way of testing whether you are reliable or if she can really trust you with her emotions. A woman rarely separates her emotional life into neat categories. Everything blends together. Her experiences at work, her friendships, her family, and her relationship with you are all interconnected. So when she shares a problem, it is never just about that problem. It is about how she feels overall, and whether you are tuned in enough to recognize it. This is why listening deeply is such a critical skill. When you only respond to the surface of what she says, you miss the bigger picture. You fix the problem she describes, but you fail to notice the relationship message underneath. If she talks about feeling unsupported by others, the real question she is asking is, "Will you support me when I need it most?" If she complains about people taking her for granted, the real question might be, "Do you truly see my value, or do you take me for granted too?" These are the windows she opens through her problems, and whether you see through them or ignore them determines the strength of the connection you share. A woman's problems are rarely about isolated events. They are emotional signals wrapped inside stories, designed to show you how she's experiencing her world and, by extension, how she's experiencing you. A man who understands this doesn't just hear words. He sees the patterns, the undertones, and the subtle reflections of the relationship itself.